Alright, so guys, welcome back to the second part of the IPL preview. I'm Zik.
And I'm Samrit.
And we'll be joined by Sahil, our in-home cricket expert. So in the last video, we talked about Chennai Super Kings, Delhi Capitals, Kings 11 Punjab, and Kolkata Knight Riders. So who are we going to be talking in this video?
This time's going to be Mumbai Indians, Rajasthan Royals, RCB, and Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Alright, so let's talk about Mumbai Indians, one of the most iconic teams in IPL history. They won the last edition of the IPL, so they're coming in strong as defending champions. They're led by the hitman Rohit Sharma, one of my personal favorite batsmen. They have the same team that they had last year, except with one or two new additions. So tell me, who are the top 5 players to watch out for?
Definitely Rohit Sharma, one of the greatest players in the world right now. He's a great captain, as we've seen the past edition from Mumbai Indians, and a great batsman. He can lead the youth for sure. And we have Kwon Dika, one of the best wicket-keeping batsmen in the world right now. He performed really well for South Africa in the T20 format. And then we have Trent Bolt, one of the most exciting fast bowler from New Zealand, and he can hit out of the park. And definitely we have Jasprit Bumrah, a reliable fast bowler from India, who was also discovered by Mumbai Indians in the past editions. And finally we have Hardik Pandya, very terrific and tremendous all-rounder from India. He's definitely the backbone of this current MI team. So what do you think are chances for them of winning?
I think they're definitely a top 4 team. I think the very early games they're going to be winning a lot or they're going to be losing, one or the other. But yeah, what about you? What do you think?
I think they have a good chance because as we've seen the past edition, he played really well, especially because under the captaincy of Rohit Sharma. I would say they will get into final this year.
It depends on how they adjust to the Dubai pitch. You never know. Alright, so let's get to Rajasthan Royals. Rajasthan Royals won the 2008 edition of the IPL. They have a variety of foreign players, ranging from English to Australian players, and they have a combination of under 19 players. So who are you watching out for in this team?
Ben Stokes, definitely Ben Stokes, but not the word who Kohli always says. But he's definitely one of the greatest players currently in the world. He performed really well during the Ashes, where he had the last wicket stand, and he actually played the test like T20. I will watch out for him this year. And we have Steven Smith. Despite that he just came out from the scandal of the ball tampering suspension, his performance has actually dipped in form. However, I think he will come back and his T20 format. I really hope he performs well. And the third player is definitely Shreyas Gopal, exciting leg spinner from India. He has a really good batting record in the domestic field. However, at T20 he didn't show much of performance for that. And with Jofra Archer, some call him a predictor because apparently he can predict the future according to his Twitter. But the batsman should definitely be aware of his bouncer as we've seen in the last series. And last but not least, we have Joel Butler. He's performed really well as a good wicket-keeper batsman for England. He played really well in the T20 series against Australia. And certainly we gotta watch out for him. So what do you think the chances for them of winning this year?
I think honestly they're going to be missing a lot of foreign players in the very start of the tournaments. They're going to be losing quite a lot. If I was Jofra Archer, I would see into the future and see the chances for Rajasthan Royals is not looking too good. But what do you think?
I think they might get into the playoff because there's a lot of under 19 players.
Yeah.
But they have a good captain, they have Steve Smith, so definitely we have to see what happens this year.
You never know. Alright, so let's talk about RCB. I know all you RCB fans out there want RCB to win. They always come close, but not close enough. But yeah, this year they have a good lineup. They're 3-time runner-ups of previous editions as well. They have I think they have the best batting lineup in IPL right now. And they'll be a force to be reckoned with. But let's see how they perform this year. Do they come close or do they win this time? So who are the top 5 players to watch out for?
3 captains of the same team is amazing. We have Virat Kohli, A.B. de Villiers, and Aaron Finch in the same team. All of them bats really well. A.B. de Villiers is a good fielder. Virat Kohli is a good fielder. So I think this is going to be sensational party.
Yeah.
Then we have Moeen Ali, an all-rounder. He can bat, he can spin. He performed really well against Australia in the T20 series. So definitely watch out for this guy. He's a Dubai pitch. It'll be interesting. And last but not least, Dale Steyn, a legend from South Africa. He can bowl fast, it is his day, he can bat as well. So yeah, these are 5 players, man. What do you think the chance for them winning?
Honestly, I'm going to throw a prediction. I'm going to be Jofra Archer. I'm going to say RCB win the IPL this year. Hopefully. I'll give you guys hope, RCB fans. What do you think?
RCB, they got a chance, man. I feel like 3 captains, they're not too many uncapped players. He got the bowling options. So let's see what Sahil talks about later, but for this part, I think they might win.
Last but not least, Sunrisers Hyderabad. They're the winners of the 2016 and the runner-ups of the 2018 edition of the IPL. And this year, Sunrisers Hyderabad fans, you guys have hope because David Warner is back as captain and he helped captain the team to victory back in 2016. And this year, Sunrisers Hyderabad has a good variety of foreign players like Kane Williamson, Johnny Barroso, just to name a few. So, Samrit, who are the top 5 players?
Definitely the 3 players you just mentioned. David Warner is back as a captain, amazing talent from Australia. He's batting really well the recent time. And we have Kane Williamson. He performed really well the World Cup and he won everyone's heart in the World Cup final. And definitely Johnny Barroso. He's performing really well for the England team and is a reliable wicketkeeper as we've seen in the last series versus Australia. Definitely watch out for. And the 2 Afghan talents, Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nami, both of them a great spinner. Rashid Khan is a good leg spinner, Mohammad Nami is a good off spinner, and both of them can bat, especially in the middle up to the lower order. So I would say I would root for these 2 players because they perform really well in CPL and in the, also BPL. So what do you think are the chances for them to win?
I think they're definitely a top 4 team. Let's see how their players perform as well. And obviously they're going to be missing out maybe some Australian English players at the beginning. So let's see how their players are able to cope with that void for a while. So what do you think?
I think they have a good chance to get to the playoff because especially they have a Kane Williamson and David Warner, great combination of the players in this team. So I would say they will get in top 4 and I really hope they do it.
Alright, so Sahil, over to you. What do you think about these 4 teams?
Hi everyone, in this second part we'll talk about 4 teams: Mumbai Indians, Rajasthan Royals, Royal Challengers Bangalore as well as Sunrisers Hyderabad. Beginning with the defending champions Mumbai Indians, the 4-time champs of IPL have a strong core and that is what reflects in every game that they go out to play. The 4 pillars, if we talk about Rohit Sharma, Kieron Pollard, Jasprit Bumrah and the Pandya brothers, form the core of the team. The strengths, of course, these 4 that I mentioned before. The weakness, however, is that Malinga, the experienced campaigner and highest IPL wicket taker, won't be available due to personal reasons this season. They only have 2 renowned spinners in the form of Rahul Chahar as well as Krunal Pandya. Yes, they have Jayant Yadav in terms of the Indian spinners, but the inexperience might prove to be some sort of a flaw for the team as they have more of seamers favouring the pitches that were there in Mumbai. However, the tournament will be held in Dubai where there will be slow tracks and that will also be a threat for the Mumbai team because they like the ball coming onto the bat rather than the slowest, sluggish tracks that are there for the offering. The next team is Rajasthan Royals. When you talk about this team, the strength of this team is the 4 international players that they have. Well, the 4 international players that they can play. We talk about Steve Smith, Joss Butler, Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer, all of whom are in exceptional form. At the same time, it can also prove to be their weakness because of the recent series between Australia and England. Most of these players, by the time they come back, will have to see as to how many matches will they miss for the quarantine period. If you talk about opportunities, players like Sanju Samson, Robin Uthappa, who's been roped in from KKR, as well as Manan Vora will have an important role to play along with the Indian pace attack that the team has. For threats, well, Ben Stokes might miss out the first half of the tournament due to personal reasons, and at the same time, it will be important to see whether the inexperienced Indian campaigners are able to perform for the franchisee or not. Led by Virat Kohli, the Royal Challengers of Bangalore have still not lifted their maiden IPL title. They've made it to the finals on 3 occasions and were runners-up. Well, if you talk about the strengths, when you hear the names of Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers and now Aaron Finch in the batting order, in the top order, what else would one expect? Well, the weakness is that after these top order batsmen, there is nothing to boast about in the middle order. And that's what has been a chink in the armor. Also, another problem that has plagued their team in the past is that they don't have any death specialist bowler, and that's why even after posting in runs in excess of 180, 190, they have not been able to defend the targets. Well, it also provides opportunities at the same time for young batsmen like Devdutt Padikkal as well as Joshua Phillip, who have been roped into the team and probably change the fortunes of the squad. The apparent threat is having the same outcome like in the previous editions and being trolled on social media. The reason for that is that the team doesn't have a fixed core. They keep on changing and chopping and no one in the team themselves know whether they will be playing the next game or not. Well, If Royal Challengers Bangalore are to make an impact, they have everything on the paper, it's just that they have to put it on the field and execute it. Last on the list is Sunrisers Hyderabad, led by David Warner. If you talk about their overseas players, well, David Warner, Johnny Bairstow, Kane Williamson and Rashid Khan would probably be the preferred four for their matches. At the same time, they have services of Mohammad Nabi. Their strengths, they have a very good bowling unit, they are very strong in terms of defending targets, and they have done it in the previous editions of IPL where they've restricted oppositions to less than 130, 140. Just like Kings XI Punjab, their weakness is their middle order. While they have services of Manish Pandey in their ranks, who would be eager to prove his mettle, especially when the selection of next year's World Cup team is on the cards, youngsters such as Virat Singh and Priyam Garg would get their opportunities to prove what they can bring to this squad. If you talk about the threats, the team is heavily reliant on Rashid Khan in the spin department. Alongside him is his Afghanistani bowler Mohammad Nabi, who can spin with his right arm off spin. But if both of these players are selected, then Johnny Bairstow or Kane Williamson, one of these might have to miss out. In terms of the pace department, the team seems sorted, but as far as spin is concerned, it is something that the team management would have to look out for. My predictions for the teams to make it to the playoffs would be Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, Royal Challengers Bangalore, and between Delhi Capitals and Kolkata Knight Riders, it's going to be a tough competition. Whichever out of the two plays consistent cricket will make it to the top four.